My name is Rachel. I'm 28 years old, and for most of my life, I felt like I didn't belong in my own family. I have an older brother, Daniel, and a younger sister, Emma. They were always praised, always seen as the smart and successful ones. Daniel was the star student, the one who got into a great college. Emma was the sweet, lovable one who could do no wrong. But me, I was just Rachel, not the smartest, not the favourite. Just there, whenever I achieved something, it barely got noticed. I was used to being ignored, like I didn't matter. Growing up, I kept trying to impress them. I joined clubs, practiced piano, and even won a few school awards. But no matter what I did, it was never a big deal. My mum would say, "That's nice," with no real interest, and then turn her attention back to Daniel's latest project or Emma's new dance class when Daniel graduated. He got a car when Emma finished school. She got a big trip to Europe when I finished. I got nothing but silence. It hurt, but I kept it to myself. I hoped one day they'd see my worth. They never did. After high school, I made a big decision. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to start working right away, make my own money, and stand on my own. I thought maybe they'd respect that. I was wrong. My dad laughed, like I told a joke. Emma called me lazy. Daniel said something about flipping burgers. I didn't argue. I just sat there quietly while they judged me, like I had failed already. But in that moment, something changed inside me. I realised I couldn't count on them if I wanted a better life. I had to build it myself. I got a job as a junior assistant at a small marketing company. The hours were long and the pay was low, but I didn't care. I showed up early every day and stayed late. I watched and listened more than I spoke. I picked up skills in design writing and social media by teaching myself after hours. My manager Carla noticed one evening. She told me, "You're different. You actually care." No one in my family had ever said anything like that to me. It was the first time someone believed in me, and that tiny bit of support pushed me even harder. Year by year, I moved up. Promotions came slowly at first, but I didn't give up. I worked through weekends, took on extra responsibilities, and made sure people could count on me. By the time I was 27, I was leading a full team and had my own office. I made more money than I ever thought possible, but I never told my family. They never asked. They probably still thought I was working at a grocery store or answering phones. That was fine with me. I didn't want to share my success with people who never supported me. Not yet. Then one day I got a message from my mum. She said the whole family was meeting for my dad's 60th birthday and that I should come. Don't be dramatic, just show up. She wrote, I hadn't seen them in years. Part of me wanted to delete the message, but another part of me, the stronger one, thought, go. Let them see who I've become. Not to brag, not to get their approval, but to show them what they missed out on. I booked a flight, packed my best clothes, and told myself I was going to walk in with my head high. The restaurant they picked was expensive. The kind of place with white tablecloths and soft music. When I walked in, I saw them all. Daniel, with his wife and 2 kids, Emma looking flawless as usual, and my parents smiling at everyone like the perfect family when they saw me. Everything went quiet. Emma gave me a tight smile. Daniel raised his eyebrows. My mum looked me up and down and said, "You look different." I smiled. Successful. I said, they weren't expecting that. I could see the confusion in their eyes, like they were trying to figure out who I was now. We sat down to eat, and the awkwardness filled the air. My dad talked about Daniel's new job. Emma shared photos of her baby. No one asked me anything. I stayed quiet waiting. Then Daniel asked, so still working that part-time job? I looked at him and said, actually, I'm vice president of marketing at a tech company. I lead a team of 20. You could hear a pin drop. My sister laughed nervously. My mum looked away. Well, money isn't everything, she said. No, I replied, but being respected sure feels good. That moment was better than any award I had ever received after dinner. Emma pulled me aside and asked why I was showing off. I told her I wasn't. I came to see if anything had changed. It hasn't. I said. She rolled her eyes and walked away. I left the restaurant soon after standing outside in the cold night air, thinking about everything for years. I had wanted their approval so badly. I thought if I just worked hard enough, they would see me, but I realized they never would. And honestly, I didn't care anymore. I wasn't that invisible girl they used to ignore. I had changed back home. I blocked them all. Numbers, emails, social media, no drama, no anger, just silence. But something else had been bothering me for years. I had helped them financially. I gave Daniel money when he was between jobs. I paid for part of Emma's daycare when she needed a little help. They never thanked me. They just expected it. I opened my bank app and Canal everything. Then I sent them a group message. I'm done helping. Don't contact me again. Then I deleted their messages like they had deleted me from their lives years ago, but it wasn't over. A week later, I got a letter from Daniel's lawyer. He was trying to sue me, saying I owed it to him to help with his kids' education. I laughed out loud. My own brother, who once called me useless now, demanding my money. I hired a lawyer and told her everything. You're not responsible? She said. You were helping out of kindness, not obligation. I felt a rush of relief. I wasn't crazy. I had been used. Now I was standing up for myself. I told her, let's fight it. I'm not backing down. As the legal battle went on, cracks began to show in their perfect lives. Daniel and his wife were fighting about money. Emma's marriage was struggling. My mum started sending guilt-filled messages saying things like, we're still family. I ignored them. I kept my focus on work and on protecting my peace. My lawyer gathered every message, every receipt, every insult they had ever sent. This is enough for an emotional abuse claim. She said. I nodded. I had stayed quiet for too long. Now it was their turn to face the truth. I was no longer afraid. Then something wild happened. News of the lawsuit got around. A business magazine picked up the story. They didn't use my name, but they told the story of a woman who rose from nothing, was mistreated by her family, and finally stood up for herself. I got messages from strangers saying they were inspired. One even said, thank you for showing us. It's okay to walk away. I never expected that. All I wanted was peace. But somehow my story gave other people strength too. It made everything I went through feel worth it. A month later, I went back to that same restaurant alone. I sat by the window, ordered a glass of wine, and just watched the people around me. It felt peaceful this time. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't angry. I was just free. I overheard two women at the next table. Did you hear about that woman who became an executive without a degree? One said she built her whole life from the ground up. The other replied, that's real strength. I smiled quietly. They were talking about me, and they didn't even know it. That was the best part. I never responded to my parents' messages again. I didn't hate them, but I didn't owe them anything. They had years to treat me with love and respect, and they chose not to. Now I was choosing myself. I filled my days with people who valued me, friends, co-workers and mentors who saw my effort, not my background. One day, Carla looked at me and said, you've come so far. Rachel, you built this all on your own. I smiled. She was right. I no longer needed to chase anyone's approval. I was already proud of who I had become. Now, I wake up every day with peace in my heart. My life isn't perfect, but it's mine, built with hard work. Qui, strength, and lessons learned. The hard way, I used to think family was everything. But now I know respect is everything, kindness is everything. And if your family can't give you that, it's okay to walk away. I didn't lose them. They lost me. I'm not their failure anymore. I'm my own success story, and I'm just getting started.